What's up, everyone? It is day one for the Lexus Pipe Pro holding period. I'm doing this super late, but I promised myself I'd do it, and I'm doing it. I'm assuming you've already made your picks. Now I'm here to fix your picks. So here's how the women stack up. Everything is color-coded for your convenience, with blue here meaning must-have, good value for green, some value for yellow, not at this event for orange, and injured or out is red. So going right into it, the first tier here is these top three women surfers. My heart says pick Caroline Marks because I love her and she's really good in these kinds of waves. However, she hasn't had great finishes, so the real question is between Carissa Moore and Tyler Wright, virtually identical with their finishes. I think Carissa's going to come out strong for her final event, and I think she takes it down. Well, I think she does really well and gets a lot of points, I should say. Have them both marked as must-have. You can't go wrong with either one. Anyways, let's move on to the second tier where you get two picks. Katie Simmers got ninth last year, but she charges, constantly getting better. She's definitely dangerous. Molly Picklum, she won the Pipe Masters, not this year, but the year before. She was awesome this year, had some sick waves. If you haven't seen those highlights, definitely go watch them. I should mention I'm going to show you my picks after we run through all this, so there's that. Lakey Peterson has been solid, a couple thirds and a fifth place. I just don't see her, again, good value. I just don't see her challenging for the actual win. Joanne DeFay, there's probably going to be better events for her, although she does have a fifth. Tatiana has a third and a fifth. She's been solid. Same with Gabby Bryant, has a fifth, and I feel like she's a surfer on the rise, whereas Tati might be going the other way. It's hard to say at this point. And then I've got another must-have pick of Betty Lou Sakara Johnson. She's an absolute stud, got third last year, and the sky's the limit for her, especially at this wave. Indy Robinson's also a stud, but ninth last year, and I just feel like there's so much good talent in here. I would probably, well, you know who I'd pick based on the color, but there's a lot of good choices. Moving on to the third tier, you only get one, so that makes it pretty easy for as far as who I'm going to pick. Sally got third back in 2021. There's probably better picks. Sawyer, her inexperience, I probably wouldn't go that route. The next three, Alyssa Spencer, Isabel Nichols, and Luana Silva, I'll have ninths. They're dangerous, but I don't see a whole lot of value until we come down to Brissa, who has a couple of fifth places, which are solid. That means points for you, and especially if you can get a fifth place out of the third tier. However, the far and away easiest decision of the year is right here. Something weird could happen, and conditions could be whack, but if we get good pipeline, she's a shoo-in. If not, she probably still does really well. Moana Jones-Wong, she won this event 2 years ago. She won the Pipe Masters this year. She's won a lot of events at Pipe, and she's called the Queen of Pipeline for that reason, and you need to pick her and make her your double points person. Let's go look at my picks. As we talked about, Carissa Moore for my top tier, Betty Lou and Molly, again, I've just talked about it, and Moana is my double points person. That is a solid lineup. The women are so hard to pick because there's so much talent in a really condensed field, but I don't think you can go wrong with these or using some of the other high value picks I just told you about. Let's move over to the men. While we're doing this, I should mention I have a little bit of research here. In my opinion, the WSL is just absolutely dreadful at having deep stats and things you can look up. So, if you're interested in this, I'll have a link in the description for you to peruse at your leisure. But that's one of the tools that's helped me is looking up the events year by year and then adding in the statistics. Okay, now actually moving on to the men. We're going to get right into it with the top tier. Same color scheme applies. Felipe Toledo, best surfer in the world. Not his event, especially for your top tier. I don't think you want to go there. Same with Ethan Ewing, with his turns being his best weapon. You don't really get to utilize that at Pipe. Move on. Griffin is definitely dangerous there. but he just hasn't performed well in the past. So I think I'm going to stay off him. Mr. Janka is injured. That leads us to these four who are really interesting. Jack Robinson, outstanding two-rider and the defending champion. Although conditions weren't great last year, that one kind of has an asterisk for me. Gabriel Medina, former champ, lots of like second places, just absolutely solid, and he's going to be hungry this year. Yago Dora, probably don't need him because you get two top tier picks for the men. He's great. I don't think he fits in there though. John Florence, consistently the best at Pipeline. He's got Pipe Pro wins. He's got Pipe Masters wins. I wouldn't pick against him. To me, it's between these three blues. You can pick two of them, Jack, Gabriel, and John. Moving on to the second tier. This is a big second tier for the men. You get four of these surfers, so there's a lot to see. Starting with a must-have pick, in my opinion, Leonardo Fioravanti. He spends a lot of time at Pipeline. Got second last year. I feel like he is a can't-miss pick, especially when you get four from this tier. Callanan had a great year last year. Pipe isn't his best event. He's consistently gotten ninth. Connor O'Leary hasn't gotten better than 13th. Probably move off both those guys. Barry Mamiya, a lot of value there. Ninth is his best, but he's a local. He's young. He charges. I think he's on the way up. So it wouldn't surprise me if he took down this event someday. Could be this year. Mr. Pupo, Miguel. He's got a third, mostly ninths though. So I just think there's better options. Italo, former champion. He's hungry. I think that's a great pick. He has been a little inconsistent of late, but he's going to want to start off the year right. Kanoa Igarashi, he's got a third, a second, a couple fifths. I personally just do not trust him. Every time I pick this guy, he lets me down. And I feel like there's just the field has gotten better, and I don't think he's kept up. So I'm going to stay off him. You probably should too. Ian Gentile, ninth last year. I give these guys a lot of credit just for being Hawaiian. I feel like for an event like this, it gives them a much better chance. They've got experience out there. I'm still not picking him, but there's some danger there for sure. Potential. Jordy, several fifths and a third in the past. He's big, he's strong. That's a good pick. Probably not to win the event, but you can see him finishing fifth or jump into a third place or something. Liam O'Brien, fifth last year in his first year at Pipe. He charges. This guy's not scared to drop in there. So there's some danger there as well. Kyle Belli, for some reason, does really well at Pipe. Last 2 years, he's finished third, so that's a real good pick in my opinion. McGillivray, you'd think he'd be really good here, but ninth is his best result. I don't see you making that pick. Callan Robson, consistent ninths. There's better options. Rio got ninth last year. Put another can't miss for Seth, and he got second, as you'll remember, 2 years ago against Kelly, and he's just solid on the wave. He looked good at the Pipe Masters. This is just this and maybe Chopu are the only events that I'll be picking him, and you probably should too for this one. Or not, do whatever you want. And then finally, Cole Hauschman, the rookie. We haven't really seen him here. He's untested, but he's a big, strong guy, and he's a really good surfer. So there's a lot of potential there, a lot of unknowns too. So, take that with a grain of salt and consider him for one of your four picks. In the third tier, you only get two, and let's go one by one again. Sammy Pupo, he's got a fifth as his best in 2 tries. That's not bad for a third tier. Jacob Wilcox, great two-rider, but we haven't really seen him at Pipeline. I'm going to stay off him for that reason. Crosby, great experience for rookie. Same with Eli. These are two guys that could definitely make some noise and great picks for a third-tier surfer. Imai Kalani, we saw him do really well at the recent Pipe Masters. Had one, I thought, underscored, really badass wave. He hasn't surfed well in his 2 times at Pipe. He'll be looking to turn that around, and I think there's a lot of value there. I would stay off of Freddie Moraes. Jake Marshall has a couple 17th. I wouldn't be surprised to see him improve. I'm still going to stay away. I don't know what to expect from Cade Madsen. David Silva, you can expect to do 17th or worse. Uh, Kelly Slater. This and Chopu are the only events I would probably pick him. And you definitely should too. He's won here a bazillion times, including 2 years ago. If it's a big, beautiful pipeline, he's going to do really well and rack up a lot of points for you. Ramsey, we didn't get to see surf last year, but we're going to see him now. I think he can make some noise. I just don't see him advancing too far. Jackson Bunch has been on fire lately, but again, I think the field's too good, and Sean Crawford, I just don't see it happening, but those guys have a lot going for them. So we're going to move over to my picks. Let's see. What did we do here? As I talked about, we had John, Gabriel, and Jack. I went with John and Jack, with John being my double points person. You can't go wrong. He's the best at pipeline right now, and sure, he could get injured or he could have a bad heat, but I think he is your best bet for racking up maximum points, which is what this is all about. In Tier B, I've got Leonardo, who can't miss in my opinion. Seth, can't miss for this event. Baron, who has a high ceiling, as we mentioned, and Italo. According to my own analysis, I think Kaio is probably a superior pick, but my heart says go with Italo with the higher ceiling, so I'm doing it. And in the third and final tier, we got Crosby Colapinto. I think he's going to be better at pipeline than his brother, actually, and he's going to get me some points, and so is Kelly Slater, unless he doesn't. But as always, we'll hope for a big, beautiful pipeline, and Kelly should be really good there. Like I said, if you want to see some of my research, you know what? I'll put this one in there and this one as well. Feel free to peruse at your leisure, and go ahead and give me a follow so you can be like my first follower or something. That's about it. You're welcome. I'm going to make you look really good if you follow my advice. If you don't, then you still might look really good, or it might not matter, or any number of scenarios really. But yeah, good luck.